Bismillah ar-Rahman Rahim. Welcome back, friends. Welcome back to another video lecture by Kami Microbiologist. Today in this video lecture we are going to talk about TCR or T Cell Receptor. Now this is actually the video lecture which is going on in a series, and we talked about, if you guys remember, immunology in detail. In immunology we talked about hematopoiesis, we talked about different types of cells, immunocells, we talked about complement system and other thing as well in a detail. In the previous video lecture, if you guys remember, we already talked about the T cell biology, the overview of T cell biology. Okay, if you missed that video lecture, so go back to my channel and watch that video, because it is very important to understand the basic about T cell biology. Now in this video lecture, what we are going to talk about, we are going to talk about in short form we can write TCR. Okay, now what is T cell receptor or TCR? As the name suggests, T cell receptor are actually the surface protein, or it is the antenna which are majorly present on the T cell surface. Okay, so if let's suppose this is the T cell, then at the surface of the T cell, means at the cell membrane area, at the surface of the T cell there are a kind of antenna, as you can see. Now that antenna is called as T cell receptor. So this portion is called as T cell receptor. What is actually T cell receptor? Why the T cell receptor is present on the on the T cell? The T cell receptor present on the T cell because it can recognize the antigen of the antigen which is presented by the other cell. For example, let's suppose in this case we have the antigen presenting cell. So whenever they representing the receptor, whenever they are representing the antigen portion, or let's suppose the peptide portion, to the T cell, then what actually this T cell can do, this T cell will recognize this antigen portion. So the recognition of this antigen portion is done by this T cell receptor, and it is very important. Why? Once this T cell receptor recognize this antigen, then this T cell will produce different kinds of cytokines which are responsible to activate some kinds of immune system, like complement system, like cytotoxic T lymphocyte cell, like B cell activation. Okay, depending upon on the type of antigen, that what kind of antigen the cell engulfed. So according to that antigen, then the T cell will decide to secrete some kinds of cytokines to activate different kinds of system against this one antigen. Okay, so that's why this recognition is very important, and it is done by this T cell receptor. So this is a little bit brief introduction about the T cell receptor. Now let's talk it in a detail. First of all, let's watch the structure of this T cell receptor. What actually happened? We have the cell membrane, let's suppose. Okay, so let's suppose this is the cell membrane of the T cell. This is actually the T cell. Okay, now inside this cell membrane, what we have the helical protein, as you can see. So this is actually not the exact structure, but this is somehow the T cell receptor. Okay, remember this one area as the left side, as you can see this chain, this is called as alpha chain, alpha polypeptide chain, alpha polypeptide chain, and this right side is called as beta polypeptide chain. Okay, so it means that T cell receptor is made up of two chain. One we call that alpha polypeptide chain and the other we call that beta polypeptide chain. And both polypeptide chain are interlinked with each other through a disulfide bond. So let me draw the disulfide bond here. As you can see, you know it is linked with each other through this disulfide bond. So this is the disulfide bond. Through this disulfide bond, the T cell receptor are stabilized. Moreover, this is the protein, so remember protein have two portion or two end. One is the amino end and other is the carboxylic end. So their carboxylic end will be present in the cytoplasm area of the T cell, as you can see. This T cell receptor are mainly originated, or it is arises from this cell membrane, but their carboxylic portion are usually present in the cytoplasm portion, as you can see, but it is mainly arises from the cell membrane of the T cell, as you can see. Okay, they have also antigen binding site, or not antigen binding site but antigen recognition site, as you can see. So this is the antigen recognition site. Let me write. Okay, so from that portion the T cell will recognize the B cell or other cells whenever each cell represent the antigen, as you can see in this diagram. Okay, moreover, this alpha chain, as you can see at the left side, this alpha chain have also two region. One we call that variable alpha region and the other we call it constant alpha region. So they have two region. One we call it variable alpha region, other we call it constant alpha region. So all of you better, constant means that it will be a constant, not moving. Variable means it will be moving. And if we talked about at the right side, so right side chain we call that beta polypeptide chain, and they have a beta region and constant beta region. Okay, this T cell receptor doesn't mean that they have alpha and beta polypeptide chain. They have also the sigma and delta portion as well. Okay, but mainly the T cell will represent any one of the things, not both. Either they will represent this alpha beta chain or they will represent gamma or delta chain at one time, not both. Now this alpha polypeptide chain have weight having 49 kilo Dalton, and this beta have the 43 kilo Dalton weight. So if we talked about the weight of this T cell receptor, so almost they have 95 kilo Dalton. Although 49 and 43, if we add it, so we get the 92, but mostly they have 95 kilo Dalton weight of this T cell receptor. Fine. So this is all about the T cell receptor. Moreover, let me talk about another thing. This carboxylic portion, as we can see, these are actually also called as a signaling transduction. Signaling transduction. Now what does it mean? It means that through this way the cell will pass the signal to the nucleus, and after that the nucleus will decide to produce any kind of the cytokines which the amino system needed. Okay, so these are the actually signal transduction, and this signal transduction are mainly connected with this carboxylic portion of this T cell receptor. Okay, now this is all about the T cell receptor structure and the function and everything, but let me tell you their development and their formation. We have the chromosomes, let's suppose we have chromosome number 7 and we have chromosome number 14. Okay, so remember guys, chromosome number 7 are mainly responsible for the formation of beta chain, and chromosome number 14 are mainly responsible for the formation of alpha chain. So let me write, it is mainly responsible for beta chain and it is responsible for the alpha chain. So whenever the DNA have 7 and 14 portion, so this 7 and 14 portion of the DNA, which we call a chromosome, means usually chromosome portion, then each portion are mainly responsible for the T cell receptor formation. Between them, the 7 portion of the chromosome are mainly responsible to produce beta chain, and the 14 portion of this chromosome are mainly responsible to produce alpha chain. And due to this way, we get the T cell receptor structure and each and everything. Okay, so this is all about the T cell receptor. Now let me tell about the function of the T cell receptor. What are the function of this T cell receptor? Although this is the structure, if we talked about the function of the T cell receptor, so it is usually responsible to recognize the antigen which are presented by the antigen presenting cell on the MHC molecule, as you can see. So this is the function of T cell receptor. They can just recognize this one antigen portion. Okay, and once they recognize this one portion, so then they will secrete the cytokines, due to which different kinds of cell and other immune systems are activated according to that antigen. Okay, so this is all about the function as well, we can say. So that's all about the T cell receptor. I hope you guys get idea about the T cell receptor, but if still you have any kind of question in your mind, so write your question into the comment. I will try my best to give you answer as soon as possible. Inshallah, in the next video lecture, we are going to explain the T cell types, different types of the T cell. We are going to talk about that in a detail. So please stay tuned and keep watching. So like this video, share this video, and definitely subscribe the channel to get more and more interesting video related to microbiology. Thank you so much for watching.